Hello. Because I am the best sister there's ever been, I decided to hand make my sister's present this year. And because what says I love you, Merry Christmas, than telling the whole internet exactly how much your present costs to make? So she lived in Florida for a year and she basically told me that she wanted me to make something out of the bits and bobs that she stole from the beach. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I do it, what I'm doing, and that's basically it. Like I said at the start of this video, I am going to be totaling up exactly how much money this video cost me to make, just so you can get a real feel at home if you wanted to make something like this, how much it is actually going to cost you. We're starting with a wooden canvas. This is like, I think you're supposed to paint on it this way, and then this is like where you can hang your nails, but we're going to use it this way because what we're going to be making is slightly 3D. I've decided a fun thing to do would be to make Florida as a diorama in here. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the vision? So what we're going to do is we're going to find the correct size one to go in here. But it's definitely not either of those because they are massive. So we've got the smallest one that I printed off. We're going to cut it out and then do a little tracing moment. So there we have it. The Florida State cutout. Now I think, do I want to do this at a bit of a jaunty angle? So what I'm going to do now is take some tape and just tape it on. This is just temporary. And then we're going to take our trusty Posca pen and we're going to outline the Florida State. Now I can rip this off. Florida State outlined. If I put that to one side, here's something I made earlier. So this is plaster of Paris rocks. I didn't film me making this because I've done it before in a video, but I'll walk you through the process. You basically fold up some aluminium foil, mix some plaster of Paris with water, pour it in there, wait for it to set, and then you get this nice crinkly effect that the foil has made on the plaster, which is really good. I was having, in one of my previous videos, I was having real trouble painting the plaster afterwards without getting that white plaster showing through on the paint, like in the hard to reach areas. And one of you, clever lot, told me, Caitlin, just mix some black ink with the plaster of Paris and you won't be able to tell. What a little hack! It's now time for some ASMR. What I'm doing is basically taking the plaster of Paris rocks that I've made and just putting them in tiny little pieces, because obviously this is a very tiny diorama. So like I said at the start, my sister nicked some shells from the beach in Florida, which is very naughty. But I have them here in front of me and I'm just now thinking I probably didn't need to even go to all the effort of making the plaster of Paris rocks because I think I've got enough here to fill my Florida. I'm now basically going to take my glue gun, which is over here, unhelpfully, because I did not think this through when I was setting up my camera. So this is the nearest plug socket. So we're going to go over here. See you there in a bit. Now I'm going to take some Mod Podge and the sand that my sister robbed off the beach. And I'm going to basically paint around all of the bits that I haven't quite covered, sprinkle the sand in there and hope it will stick. So I'm kind of annoyed there because the blue pen like bled into loads of the sand. So I'm gonna have to redo the sand. But before then, I'm actually just going to paint the rest of this a blue. I'm going to paint the outside a kind of darker blue than the inside. I know there's technically no sea up here. It doesn't matter. So it's now the next day and I painted the inside of the ocean bit. It's all looking really good. And now for the fun part, the resin. So this is craft resin. This has lasted me, God knows how long. Ages, and we're not going to use that much, but what we're going to do is we're going to mix up equal parts of both, put a little bit of clear around the edge of the shells, Then we're going to mix in a blue pigment, put that around the edge of that, and then mix in a darker blue pigment and put that around the edge of that. I'll just show you. Guys, abort mission. I'm really sick. Christmas grind doesn't stop. So even though I'm sick, I'm gonna add some water effects, add it to my now dry resin, and I'm just gonna sit here and watch TV and do it. So I've done the water effects. It looks a bit crazy right now, but we're going to leave that to dry and it will look really cool afterwards. So I'm still pretty sick, but like I said, the Christmas grind does not stop and I need to get this finished. This is what it looks like at the moment. We've got some good texture on there. The only thing that's missing are the waves. So I have this diorama snow texture and I'm basically going to put this on here to make it look like cresting waves. Before I show you the finished result of my sister's Christmas present that I made, as promised, I'm going to take you through my calculations of exactly how much money this gift cost me to make. So, if I take into account that I only used a small amount of every single thing, the cost of this project was £11.51. That's not bad, is it? However, if you take into account that you can't actually just use 1% of a bottle of paint, you do have to buy the entire paint tube. This project actually cost me £147.71. And because I believe in fair work here, you know, I'm going to pay myself. This project took me 4 hours approximately, give or take, to make from start to finish. And I'm going to price my work at a very frugal minimum wage. So 4 hours at £12.21 is £48.84, which means if we're taking into account the fact that I only used a small amount of every single thing, this project cost me £60.35 to make. However, if we're going the more realistic route of that you would actually have to buy these things in full in order to use them, this project cost me £196.55 to make. Which means this is the most expensive Christmas present that I will be giving this year. So, to my sister, if you're watching this, you are welcome. I was hoping that this video would be a bit of a slay and I'd get to the end and go, look, this only cost me 4p to make. But I actually proved myself wrong. And unfortunately, crafting just isn't really as accessible as I would like to think. However, with all that being said, let's go and take a look at the final result.